Welcome back everyone. So now what we need to do, first of all, we need to grab our catapult. We need to shift click our bones. This is all in object mode. Press Ctrl P and you're going to click with empty group. So just click that on and now go to your catapult, press tab button, and now you'll notice on the right hand side, under this triangle here, you have all your bones. So now, how do we get these parts to be moved with these parts? So what we do is first, let's come to the far left, which is the ballistics, and we'll go and look for our ballistic bone, which is this one here, because we've named everything. Now what I tend to do is, before assigning this weight, is I'll double tap A, and that makes sure that nothing else is selected. I'll press G just to make sure that I'm not moving anything. And then I'll come in and I'll select this piece of mesh here, and this is the ballistics bone, so I only want this piece of mesh selected. Come over again to the right hand side and click assign with this on 1. What this will do is now is if I come to object mode, click on my bones and go to pose mode. Now when I grab this bone now and I press G, you'll see that the full weight of this bone is now attached to this piece of mesh here, and I can now manipulate this in any way. I can rotate it and move it wherever I want. So that's great. That's the first part done, and that is the way that we're going to attach all these pieces to weight in our mesh. So now let's press tab and put this, let's go back to object mode, click on our catapult, press tab, and we'll just hide that out the way. Now we'll do these parts next because these parts are quite easy. So as I said, looking from the front, we can see this is the right light. So let's find that in our list. So we're looking for right light bone. Here it is. And now let's come in and select all the pieces of our chain. Now I know that where we put this, the point up here is not a part that we want selected, so we want anything below that. So I'm just going to select all these pieces of chain like so, and this side as well, and we'll do both of these before we actually check to see if it's working. I'm sure it will be, so just make sure you've got all of that selected and then click assign, and now you're going to come to your left bone and double tap the A button just to make sure nothing's selected. And let's select now this part here. So selecting L, hovering over it, and this part and this part. And if you make a mistake, select the wrong thing, just press Shift L and that'll deselect it. Okay, that's all that selected, and now it's the left one, and we're going to click assign, and now we're going to press tab just to make sure that they're working correctly. Click on your bone, go to pose, grab the first one, and you'll notice now that this moves with them. Second one, this moves with them. So that's great. That's those two done. I'm back to object mode, and I do actually go back and just make sure everything's attached and working as I go along. It makes it far easier than trying to do the whole thing and then realize you made a mistake. So that's the way I work. It's up to you how you work, of course. So now I'm going to hide this, and I'm going to also now grab this, and the easiest way to actually grab it is if you click on right light bone now and you press select, it will select everything for you, so then you're free to hide that. So now let's start work on this part here. Now when this turns, we can see all of this part turns, including the rocks as well, of course. So let's go now to weight. So this is the weight bone here, and I'll go in and select all these parts, including these parts, and basically everything from here on downwards. So let's select all these like so. And all these, and then I'll carry on working my way down, and then I'll select my rocks as well. And I just want to make sure that I've selected all these rocks, so I'm just going to zoom in. I can see I've got one there to select, and there's probably some more, so what I'll do is I'll press G move them over, and then I can get a good idea. Right, there's a rock in here that I've missed, and here it is. And I'll press G again just to make sure I've got them all, and I think I have. So let's assign those to that. And now what I'll do is I'll come to my bones, pose mode, select the bone in question, and now press R, Y, and now I can see that this is rotating in the correct way, and that's exactly what I want. So now back to object mode, back to my catapult, tab, hide, and that's that bit done. Now we've got this main part of the bone here, which needs to move everything basically on top of here except these two things here. So let's press Z, and we can grab pretty much all of these. So if I press 1 now, press the B button and just drag it and bring it across, Z and back to solid, and now I can easily grab just these remaining parts on this end, like so. And also we want all these struts coming along with it, of course. I'm going to look underneath as well, and I'm going to grab all of these. And let's work our way across. So with this one, this whole thing, so this part here as well, and this one is going to move. The middle part is also going to move, and of course these parts, like so. All of this is going to move, same as all of this, and all the front as well, so like so. Now again, I'll press G just to make sure I've got everything, and I can just put it over there and just have a check now, and I can see that I've missed 2 parts here, as you can see. We need those to come along with it as well, so I'll just press Ctrl Z, take it back, grab these 2, and one final check just to make sure I've got everything, and that looks like pretty much everything. Ctrl Z. So if I come across the right hand side, I'm looking for the strut bone, which is this one, and I click assign, and now I press tab again, and we come to our bones, go into pose, click on this bone here, and now what should happen is when I press RY, this should move along. Now there is one problem, of course, and that is that this part here and this part here should realistically move along with this, which they can do. All we need to do is press the tab button, grab this bone here, and finally this bone here. So this is the last one we grab. Ctrl P, and we're going to keep offset. Now if we press tab again, come to this bone, and you'll see now that they all move along with it. So if I press RY, you can see everything moves where it's supposed to, but we can also, so if I click on this one, move them independently, which is exactly what we want. So if I move this one here, for instance, and now I move this one, you'll see it still moves with this part, but that's no problem in this case, because when this, for instance, this gets moved over here, basically we don't need to worry, because this is going to start winding down then, so this bone's going to be out of the scene. So what you can do is there's 2 ways of doing this. Also, to set this back right, you just press Alt R or Alt G or Alt S just to reset the scale or the rotation or the movement. So if I move this now over here and I press Alt G, that will move it back. Now there are 2 ways, so let me just put that back, of doing this. One is not connecting this with it and actually moving this separately, but for this I think to keep it simple, we'll actually leave it in the way that we've done it. So that's that part done. Now let's click back on object mode and go back to our catapult. Press tab, and I'm going to hide this as well because I don't need that in the way. Now this this part, when we come to animate it, is one of the more complex parts, but we'll come to sorting that out when we actually animate it. But for now we will actually line it up with this bone here. So let's come over and look at here. So this is the left one, so we need a left rope bone, which is this. Grab all this and click assign. And now right rope bone, so click this one and click assign, and now we can check out, make sure they're working. So let's press tab once more, click on our bones, pose, and we'll grab this one first, so just to make sure it's working, and that one's working perfectly, and so's that one. Okay, so that's that part done. Back to object mode, back to catapult, and now we'll hide this part, and I'll grab this part and hide it. So now we've got the wheels. Let's do the wheels next. So we need the front wheels, so let's find our wheels on the front. So front wheel bone, here we are. So let's grab all of this, and then we just need to go in and grab all of this part. And again, always once you've got them all grabbed, just make sure you do press the G button, just to make sure that you've got every part of this. It's a pain when you miss a part and then you realize later. So let's G, move it over there, and I can see I've got all those parts, so I'll press Ctrl Z, front wheel bone, click assign, and I'll do the rear wheel bone now as well. So let's double tap the A, and now we'll grab the same, all of these parts. Like so, and okay, that's pretty much all of those. And now I'll grab the back parts as well. And come on, there we go. And you can hold L as well and hover over it, but I find that when I'm dealing with little pieces like that, it's much easier to just click on it. So rear wheel bone, let's click assign, G, just move it over there, and just check, see if I've got everything. Ctrl Z, and let's put it back. And now I can check first of all. So let's press tab, click on my bone, and we're going to go to pose. And you might see this as a kind of not needed, but I like to do it this way just to make sure that it all works and everything's turning. So now you can see I'm just clicking on them and just making sure that they're working. And also you can check now as well, if you click on the main bone, you'll see that everything is weighted to this. The only things that aren't, of course, is this, but we're going to weight those last to this bone. So that's good, everything's working as intended at the moment. And let's press object mode once more and come to our catapult, and now we'll hide this part, and this part again is the front, so I'll click on this, click select, and hide that part. So now let's work with things. So let's press Alt H first, because we do have a problem in that I didn't unhide these bones. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press Shift and L and just deselect these parts here, make it a bit easier for myself, and I can see the parts that I need to deselect, so I'm just going to take them off, because I actually want this rope obviously to turn with another bone. So I can see now that I've got everything that I already did selected, so now I can hide those and I should be left with just the things I need. So let's now work on the lever. So we'll find the lever. Where is that? And here it is down at the bottom. So let's click on the lever bone, and on the lever bone we don't want it to actually go all the way down. We just want it to move from kind of up to this point here. So we will grab the top with face select, so just this top, press Ctrl plus until you get down to the bottom, and it looks like I can't go any further than that, so it must be split in some way. So I'll just press Alt Shift, and then I've got that selected, and I'll click assign. And while I'm here, I will actually do the cog bone at the same time. So let's now click on the cog, come over to vert select, select all of the cog with L, click assign, and now we'll do exactly the same thing as what we've been doing. So we'll click on our bones now. We'll do this one first. So in pose mode, click on the bone, RY, and you'll see that lever turns lovely now. Sorry, the cog turns lovely now. And now let's see if this lever turns correct. So RY, and you can see our levers turning as well. So that's very nice. So back to object, back to our catapult, press tab, and now what we'll do is the cog bone, we'll select this one first, we'll hide it, and select the lever, and we'll select this and hide it, and now we're left with just this part here, which is this bone here. Now of course we don't want these attached to it or anything like that. It's basically all these and these handles here. So let's go in with vert select, and now we'll select all of these, going round. And like I say, this can be a little bit tedious the way I'm showing you how to do it, but it's the correct way, and it's the best way to make sure that from the start, before you even start animating, you've got a really good base to actually start from, and you know everything is correct. So I think I'll go into Z mode to grab those pieces of rope. So I'll also, as well, when I grab this, when I've got them all, I will press G just to make sure I've got them all. So that's those. And I'll go above them now, press 7, Z, wireframe, B, and select all those. Z, solid, and now I'm going to grab them with G, just move them to the side, and I've definitely got everything. Right click. And now let's come over and set our weight to our rope turner. So let's click assign. And now let's just test that last one out just before we finish. So come over to, click on bones, come over to pose, click on your wheel turner, RY, and see if it all turns. Everything should turn, including these parts here. So RY, just to make sure it all turns and the rope is turning fine as well. So that's looking very good as well. So let's go to object, back to our catapult tab, and you should be left with just this now. So press H, and now we need to attach everything that we've got here. So press A, and these are going to be attached to the root bone. So let's assign those. And now what we can do is we can press Alt H and bring everything back. Press tab, and let's come to our bones once more. And now we're just going to check to make sure everything's working correctly. So first thing I'll do is I'll check the root bone, and we can see that we have got a piece that's missing. So let me just put that there. And we can see that is the lever that's not attached to our root bone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press Alt G, put it back. And now I'm going to grab this bone, and I'm going to go to edit mode. So grab this and this, press Ctrl P and keep offset. And now let's go back to pose mode, click on this, and now it should all move together. So let me just make sure. So the point of this is now if I press Shift Space and come to move, in a games engine now, when I want to move this forward, I would be moving this way, and the wheels of course would be turning independently. So RY, you can see they turn independently, and that gives the illusion of this thing actually moving along. Let's just grab them all and press Alt G just to put everything back. So finally now I'm just going to make sure that everything is working correctly. So they're all working correctly. These, what I need to do with these is obviously we need to be able to rotate them, but not only that, we need to press SZ and make sure that they're going smaller and they're going bigger. Now if you just press S, you'll see that they shrink in size, but the reason why I pointed them in this particular way, if I press SZ, you can see that they don't shrink on the X and Y axis, only on the Z axis, which makes it very easy for us then to manipulate the material that's attached to them. So let's put those back, and now I'm just going to make sure that everything's just working correctly, and it is. So that's it for this lesson. On the next lesson then we will actually start animating our catapult. So hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye for now.